She helped a struggling veteran only to lose everything. Mia, a compassionate hairstylist, offered a free haircut to a former soldier down on his luck. But instead of gratitude, she was handed a brutal punishment. She was fired on the spot. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, an unexpected visitor walked through the salon doors. What happened next left the entire town speechless. Today's story is one you won't forget. Let's dive in. Mia was a young woman in her late 20s, known for her warm smile and the effortless way she made people feel at ease. While many of her peers had pursued high-paying careers in law, medicine, or finance, she had chosen a different path driven by passion rather than prestige. From the time she was a little girl, she had been fascinated by the world of beauty and hair care, spending hours braiding her doll's hair, experimenting with different styles on herself, and watching hairstyling tutorials long before she was old enough to work. For Mia, being a hairstylist wasn't just about cutting hair, it was about helping people feel confident, brightening their day, and creating a space where they could relax and be themselves. She loved the way a simple haircut or color change could transform not only someone's appearance but also their entire outlook. Though she dreamed of one day opening her own salon, she faced constant resistance from her parents, who believed she was wasting her potential. They had urged her to pursue something more respectable, but despite their disapproval, Mia never wavered. She followed her heart, choosing happiness over wealth, fulfillment over status, and passion over practicality. When Mia was 19, her world shattered in an instant. She had known her parents disapproved of her decision, but she never imagined they would go as far as to cast her out. Yet, as she stood in the dimly lit dining room, heart-pounding, she realized there was no changing their minds. Her father's voice was cold, final. "If you won't listen, you're on your own." The words hit like a slap, ringing in her ears even years later. She clenched her fists, fighting back the sting of tears, as both her parents looked at her with disappointment. Her father's glare was hard, unwavering. "You're wasting your future," he said. Her mother, usually the softer one, simply shook her head. "You'll regret this." Mia's throat tightened, but she refused to back down. She had made her choice. "I love this," she said firmly, her voice steadier than she felt. "I won't change my dream for you." Silence filled the room, thick with unspoken words. She waited, hoped for them to soften, to call her back, but they didn't. So, with her head held high, she turned, walked out the door, and stepped into an uncertain future completely alone. Luckily for Mia, despite the painful fallout with her parents, life had a way of opening new doors. A few weeks after being kicked out, she stumbled upon an opportunity that would change everything: a job at Elena's Beauty Lounge, the most well-known salon in town. Though she had little formal experience, her natural talent, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn impressed the owner, and she was hired as an assistant. Mia's small town was the kind where everyone knew each other, and news spread at lightning speed. Gossip, good or bad, traveled fast, and her name soon became synonymous with quality and kindness. Elena's Beauty Lounge, already one of the busiest salons, became even more popular not just because of its reputation, but because of Mia. Not only was Mia passionate about her job, but she was also friendly, kind, and had a great sense of humor. Every time customers stepped into the salon, Mia ensured they felt comfortable and provided top-notch service. She knew all their names, asked about their families, and made them feel genuinely valued. Every morning, as Mia unlocked her salon, a deep sense of joy filled her. The scent of shampoo, the hum of conversations, and the warmth of familiar faces made every day special. She loved the transformation, helping a bride find the perfect style, calming a nervous teenager, or simply brightening someone's day with a fresh cut. She wasn't just styling hair, she was lifting spirits and restoring confidence. Seeing clients leave with a smile, standing a little taller, reminded her why she chose this path. No matter how long the hours, she never regretted it. This was her passion, her purpose, her dream come true. One warm summer morning, as the golden sunlight spilled over the quiet streets, Mia set out to open her salon at precisely 8 a.m., just as she did every day. However, on this particular morning, she decided to take a small detour, treating herself to a fresh cup of coffee from a cozy street-side stand before heading in to begin her work. As she waited for her order, the rich aroma of roasted beans filling the air, she unexpectedly bumped into Lucas, who happened to be walking past at that very moment. The whole town, including Mia, also knew Lucas's life had once been filled with purpose, but after returning from the military, everything fell apart. His wife left, unable to handle the changes in him, and the structure he had relied on for years was gone. Struggling with civilian life, he drifted between jobs, each one slipping through his fingers as his past haunted him. Nights were long and lonely, spent in a run-down apartment he could barely afford. The town that once admired him now pitied him, and every glance felt like a reminder of how far he had fallen. He felt invisible, forgotten, completely lost. That morning, Lucas looked worn down by the weight of his struggles. He was dressed in scruffy, faded clothes that had clearly seen better days, the fabric slightly frayed at the edges. His boots, once sturdy and well-polished, were now scuffed and weathered. His hair was overgrown and unkempt, his beard thick and tangled, giving him a rugged, weary appearance. There was a tiredness in his eyes, a kind of quiet exhaustion that spoke of sleepless nights and battles fought in silence. Still, when Mia spotted him, she greeted him with the same warmth and kindness as always. "Hey Lucas, how are you doing today?" she asked cheerfully, her smile as bright as the morning sun. Lucas hesitated for a moment before replying. "Hi Mia, I'm all right. It's good to see you," he said, his voice rough but sincere. Mia glanced at the coffee in her hand, then back at Lucas. "Want some coffee?" she offered without a second thought. Lucas shifted slightly, rubbing the back of his neck. "Oh, I wouldn't want to be a bother," he said hesitantly, as if unsure whether he deserved such a simple kindness. Mia rolled her eyes playfully and let out a light chuckle. "Oh, come on, we're friends, Lucas. Why would you be a bother?" she said with a grin before turning to the coffee vendor. "One more for him, please?" Lucas hesitated, then gave a small, grateful nod. For a moment, the lines of weariness on his face softened just a little. A few moments later, coffee in hand, they walked toward the salon, making small talk. Mia noticed that Lucas seemed a little lighter, his smile less hesitant. As they reached the salon's front, Lucas thanked her again and was about to leave when Mia stopped him. "One more thing, Lucas, if you're free later today, come by the salon. I'll give you a haircut on the house." "Oh no, you don't have to. What you've done is already more than enough," Lucas said. "I insist, it's my treat," Mia reassured him. Lucas paused before nodding. "Thank you so much, Mia. I'll come by later." After Mia opened the salon for the day, she couldn't stop thinking about Lucas and how drastically his life had changed. She remembered a time when he was known for his sharp, disciplined appearances, uniform pressed to perfection, his posture upright, his presence commanding respect. Now the man she had run into that morning seemed like a shadow of who he used to be, weighed down by hardship and struggle. Later that afternoon, just as Mia was cleaning up after finishing with a client, she glanced up and saw Lucas hesitantly stepping inside. His movements were slow, almost uncertain, as if unsure whether he really belonged there. Mia smiled and waved him over. "Come on, Lucas, take a seat," she said warmly. "It meant a lot, you know." His voice softened. "Not many people bother to ask how I'm doing." Mia met his gaze, her smile gentle but firm. "Well, I do," she said simply. "Now sit still." Still looking reluctant, but knowing there was no talking Mia out of it, Lucas finally settled into the chair. She carefully wrapped the sanitary strip around his neck, then draped the cutting cape over him. As she worked, she noticed the way he slowly began to relax under her touch, as if the simple act of someone caring enough to give him a fresh cut was chipping away at the invisible walls he had built around himself. About 10 minutes into the haircut, her boss, Miss Carter, a woman in her early 40s, walked into the salon. Everyone in town knew Miss Carter as a strict businesswoman who only cared about money and never about people's feelings. At first, Miss Carter didn't say a word. Instead of going to her office, she sat near Lucas, watching silently. As Mia finished the last trim, Lucas looked at his reflection, a flicker of pride in his eyes. "Thank you, Mia," he said, his voice softer than before. Before he could stand, Mrs. Carter's cold voice sliced through the moment. "That'll be $15. Lucas stiffened. "Oh, I don't have." "It's fine," Mia interjected quickly. "You can take it from my paycheck." Mrs. Carter scoffed, arms crossed. "Absolutely not. I didn't build this salon by giving out free handouts." Mia swallowed hard. I just wanted to help." "I don't care," Mrs. Carter snapped. "If he doesn't pay, you're fired." Lucas stood abruptly, glancing between them. "Please, I don't want to cause any trouble." "There's nothing to discuss," Mrs. Carter said flatly. Mia gave Lucas a reassuring nod. "It's okay, you can go." Reluctantly, Lucas walked toward the door, his shoulders slumped. The moment it shut behind him, Mia turned back, her hands trembling. "If helping someone in need is a fireable offense," she said, voice steady, "then I don't want to work for you anyway." Mrs. Carter's eyes narrowed, but Mia was already untying her apron. Her decision was made. Outside, as he walked down the street, his troubled expression caught the attention of a few townspeople. "Lucas, what's wrong?" an elderly woman asked, concerned by the sadness in his eyes. He exhaled slowly, shaking his head. "The nice salon lady gave me a free haircut and her boss fired her for it." His voice was laced with disbelief, still struggling to process what had just happened. A stunned silence fell over the small group. "What? You must be joking," a woman gasped, looking outraged. "That's ridiculous. Mia is the kindest person in town," a man added, his tone sharp with anger. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the growing crowd. Within minutes, people were outraged, recalling times Mia had gone above and beyond to help others staying late for a last-minute haircut, giving discounts to struggling families, offering a listening ear to those who needed it. "This is unacceptable," another voice chimed in. "She doesn't deserve this. We should do something," someone else added. The frustration escalated into determination. Within an hour, the entire town was buzzing with fury, and the story reached the mayor himself. Recognizing the injustice, he knew he couldn't stay silent. Mia had given so much to this town, and now it was time for the town to stand up for her. Meanwhile, inside the salon, Mia quietly cleaned up the floor, preparing to leave for the last time. Her heart was hammering against her ribs. She had no regret. She knew she was doing the right thing, but that didn't make it hurt any less. 6 years of hard work, of building relationships with clients, of pouring her soul into this place gone in an instant. At that moment, she had no idea that outside, the townspeople were standing up for her. 30 minutes later, the salon door swung open. The mayor walked in with Lucas by his side. Behind them, a large crowd had gathered. Miss Carter quickly stepped forward. "Mr. Mayor, what a pleasant surprise! To what do we owe this visit?" she asked, forcing a smile. The mayor ignored her and turned to Mia. "Is it true you were fired for giving Lucas a free haircut?" Miss Carter subtly shook her head, signaling Mia to lie, but Mia stood her ground. "Yes, Mayor, it's true." The mayor nodded. "Mia, for your kindness, the town and I want to recognize you." He handed her a certificate of appreciation along with a large white envelope. Mia's hands trembled as she opened the envelope, her breath hitching at the unexpected generosity inside. Overwhelmed, she looked up at the mayor, barely finding the words to thank him. The crowd erupted in cheers, their support washing over her like a warm embrace. At that moment, Mia knew she wouldn't work for anyone else again. She would build something of her own. Within months, she opened Mia's Haven, a cozy, inviting salon filled with warmth and elegance. Townspeople, furious with Miss Carter's cruelty, abandoned Elena's beauty lounge, flocking instead to Mia's shop, where kindness and quality service thrived. Her salon's success skyrocketed, and soon she opened a second location, hiring former employees of Miss Carter's failing business. Meanwhile, Elena's beauty lounge sat empty, its once loyal clients never returning. In the end, Miss Carter lost everything, while Mia built something greater than she had ever imagined. She learned a harsh lesson, but some mistakes can never be undone. Because in the end, success isn't measured in dollars, but in the impact we leave on others. Kindness has a way of coming full circle, lifting up those who give it freely. And those who choose generosity over greed will always find true wealth. If this story moved you, tap that like button and subscribe for more. Share one word in the comments that captures how this story made you feel. Until next time, stay kind and keep believing in the power of good.